You did not choose your dominant hand. The choice was already made before you were born, before you had a face, before your brain could even move the hand it was picking. And the hand was never really the point. Reach for something right now, a pen, your phone, a cup. One hand goes for it without ever asking the other. Most people assume that's just habit, how you were taught, which hand you grabbed crayons with as a kid. That is the surface answer. The real answer is that your hand is reporting on something much deeper, a split that runs straight down the middle of your brain. And the strangest part is that nobody can fully explain it, not even close. Start with the thing everybody knows and nobody questions. About 9 in 10 people are right-handed. Roughly 1 in 10 are left-handed. That ratio feels modern, like a fact about today. It isn't. Look at the handprints painted on cave walls 30,000 years ago. Most of them are left hands. Not because those people were left-handed, because they held the spray of pigment in their right hand and stenciled the left. Even the scratch marks on Neanderthal teeth lean the same way. This 9-to-1 tilt is older than farming, older than writing, older than our species being alone on the planet. And here's the part that should stop you. Almost no other animal does this. Your cat has a preferred paw. So does your dog. But across the whole species, it's a coin flip. Half lean one way, half the other. Humans are the strange ones. We are lopsided as an entire species, all leaning the same direction. And that lopsidedness is the clue to what's really going on. Because the decision is made shockingly early. In the 1990s, a researcher in Belfast named Peter Hepper started watching fetuses on ultrasound, and he noticed something. About 9 in 10 of them preferred to suck their right thumb, the exact same ratio as adult-handedness. He followed those babies for years. The right thumb suckers grew up right-handed, almost every time. Sit with that. A fetus is choosing a hand months before its brain has full control of that hand. The preference isn't coming from the hand, it's coming from something upstream. You were right-handed before you could be picked up. So if it isn't really about the hand, what is it about? Here is the turn. Your right hand is wired to the left half of your brain, and in about 95% of right-handed people, that same left half is where language lives. The half of your brain that names things, builds sentences, and runs the words you are decoding right now is the same half that runs your dominant hand. That is not a coincidence. Your handedness is a readout. It's the outside of your skull telling you which way the inside leaned when it divided up the work. You don't have a dominant hand. You have a dominant half of a brain. The hand is just the part of it you can see. And then it gets genuinely unsolved, because you would think a trait this old and this consistent would have a clean cause, a gene, a switch, something. There isn't one. There is no single-handedness gene. Identical twins, same DNA, shared womb, can have opposite dominant hands. The best model we have, from a researcher named Chris McManus, says something almost funny. One genetic variant gently nudges you toward the right. The other variant doesn't make you left-handed. It just flips a coin. It leaves the whole thing to chance. Which means a left-handed minority isn't a mistake. It's baked into the math. You can never reach 100% right-handed because the system was never trying to. And maybe that minority is being kept around on purpose. One hypothesis, and it's still a hypothesis, is the fighting advantage. A left-hander is the opponent nobody trains against, the unexpected mirror image. In sports where you face someone directly, boxing, fencing, baseball, lefties win more than their numbers say they should. Some researchers even found more left-handers in more violent traditional societies. A rare hand is a surprising hand, and a surprising hand in a fight is an edge. So here's what this was really about the whole time. We talk about handedness like it's a quirk of the hand, a preference, a habit, a thing you do. But the hand was always a decoy. The real story is the brain that learned to be uneven. At some point in our deep past, the human brain stopped splitting its jobs evenly between two matching halves and started specializing. Language to one side, find control to the other. And that lopsided brain, that willingness to let one half lead, is tangled up with the very things that make us us. Speech, tools, the ability to do one precise thing with one trusted hand while the other just holds the world still. Your dominant hand isn't the talent. It's the scar left behind by the moment your brain stopped being symmetrical and became powerful instead. So sign your name. Watch which hand moves before you tell it to. That isn't habit. It isn't how you were raised. It's a decision your brain made in the dark, before you had a face, about which half of itself would take the lead. Every time you reach for a pen, you're showing everyone in the room which way your brain leaned on the very first choice it ever made. You've been telling them your whole life. You just never knew it was a message.